thing, and this goes with Taylor, with the squirrel, with any like complex tail or limb that I like to do, is I'll draw it out with the grease pencil tool first in Maya. That way I can kind of plan it out, make sure the animation will work, and then I just match the poses to what I want. This way it's easier to figure out if it actually will work in the first place. And then if you feel like it could be tweaked, it's easier to redraw it than to repose a whole tail. In terms of like pushing the pose and making sure that the pose isn't deforming too much, that's always a tricky thing. And this goes with almost any rig. There will be times where we want to really exaggerate a pose, and that means squashing it and like just compressing it all. And you can start getting some really bad deformations. In those cases, there's two things you can do. You can either reduce the pose, so make it less extreme so that it doesn't start breaking or deforming, which is okay, but it doesn't let us exaggerate as much as we want to. Or you can find ways to bring the rig back into place. So if the squirrel tail has scale controls, scale the tail back up into place, and you just kind of shape it to be where you want. It's more manual, but it lets you get more exaggerated posing. This is something where, as animators, sometimes the computer won't give us what we want. Either the pose won't give us, like it starts deforming in weird ways, or the graph editor is going to not give us what we want. A general rule that we as animators, especially CG animators, when we're dealing with the computer, a general rule to have on hand at all times is if the program isn't giving you the pose you want, you make the pose you want. You put it where you want it to be. And this can be very tricky. It's very, very tricky because sometimes it involves creating blend shapes and all of this stuff. But we don't let the computer dictate what we can and cannot do as much as we can. Sometimes you have no choices. Sometimes the rig is just, it's not going to be able to do what we want. We're just pushing it too far, it's breaking, it's not possible. But we can at least try. So yeah, something to consider in this case. Try to scale the tail if you can in certain ways, if it's possible. If not, I would just reduce it a little bit.